Happy Wednesday. How's your week going? I'm enjoying a fantastic, beautiful afternoon. You may even be hearing the children at the swimming pool over here next door. Huh? Pretty amazing. What are we going to talk about today? Let's talk about something new. Let's talk about ending it all. Giving up. Stop. Accepting failure. What does that mean to you? Been there a few times myself. I live by the philosophy that you can't fail until you quit, because that's when you're done. There is no more. So what does fail mean to you? Thought about it lately? Do you think about it the last few days of every month? Do you think about failure when things are just not going like you think they should? Well, how should they go? Right? Life is a journey, not a guided tour. We find in life that as we grow up, things can be good or they can be bad at any point in time for the same reason. You know, here in CR land, repetitive behavior cellular regression, we find, I've found in my research in these last 6.5 years now, we're born with an already established personality, not a little bitty baby. As we grow, we become witness to various stimuli around us that we can either believe or not believe at any given time. And as we start to believe these various stimuli around us, we set up filters. Don't touch that, it's hot. Good girls don't lie. Little boys don't cry. Some of these sound familiar? Well, they shape who we are not only as a child, but later on in life. They are directly responsible for our odds for being who we want to be. And too many times we have found in our research the word failure can mean anything from I feel like a failure because I can't make my bed in the morning, which for somebody with OCD or something like that, that's pretty huge. Or they make their bed over and over and over again. To I'm a failure because I can't do anything right. I'm a failure because I can't keep a company going. I'm a failure as a father. I'm a failure as a dad. So I must be a failure. What constitutes failure? Someone early on in our life modeled something like failure to us and labeled it failure. And they probably didn't mean failure. They probably meant some other word that was, well, that didn't go right. Well, today was just one issue after another. But I'm okay. I'm still alive. Everything is fine. Or you can have someone who says, boy, you can't do nothing right. You're just going to be a failure all your life. Won't you just get used to it now? We don't have no smart people in our family. The people who are saying those things to you, they're on their own journey and they've had their own experiences. But none of those experiences are yours. None of those are you are not responsible for any of those. You're only responsible for your journey and your decisions, your choices. Okay? Day to day, minute to minute, we make many choices in life. How about if you make choices from the perspective of, well, I can do this or this. Okay, I'm going to do this. 2 minutes later, you go, oh, that's not what I wanted to have happen. You get to change your mind again. You can stop and move on and go somewhere else. You are not stuck with your decisions. You're not stuck with your choices. That's why people say, you make too many bad choices, boy. You make too many bad choices, young lady. Maybe there's not enough people around that little boy or that little girl making right choices to help them make better choices down the road that are better for themselves. And they're still choices, right? So what does that have to do with failure? Well, if that person who makes choices that don't work out right over and over and over again, they must be a failure. They have to be a failure. So why should they go on? Won't they just end it all? Or maybe there's another way. Maybe you can make a choice to save your life. Maybe you can make a choice to save the life of a young child. Or maybe it's a dog. Or somebody else. Something else. With a conscious choice that you make from here. Not from here. This is a political year that has been very enlightening in my 63 years in this world. I would say, in my memory, not as sharp as it was in earlier years of my life, but in my experience, this has been the worst election series I've ever seen. No holds barred, nothing or anybody, anything to do with a politician or their political thoughts are off limits anymore. People attack each other over a bumper sticker on their car. People get their cars scraped and crazy making stuff out there because they're following a certain candidate. Whoever the candidate is. Doesn't matter. Okay? Politician has to give up certain basic principles to move forward in politics, no matter how far up they go. At some point, they make a choice. I'm either bought or I'm not bought. The ones that are not bought better have a district or a state like Bernie Sanders, a small state with a small population, firmly behind them. Or they won't be in office. Okay? That's not all bad. What's bad out there is people are openly attacking a person for believing that politics should be honest. Those are bad choices. And you have to stop and think here. Who's failing? How does failure come into all of this? We as citizens, we as human beings, you and I, we have a certain responsibility to each other. similar to indigenous cultures many thousands of years ago. The old adage, it takes a village to raise a child. It's quite true. Everyone in the village was responsible for everyone else in the village. Indigenous cultures don't have prisons. They have no judicial system. They have a basic set of dialogue that is without the words of murder and robbery, all those kinds of things. Were those cultures failures? I doubt it. They did not buy into any system where failure was an option. It's about doing the next thing and doing the right thing, right? For me, as I go through life and I make choices, Linda has a great example there. Read that about there's no such thing as failure, only a valuable learning experiences. I say it a little differently. Same thing though, and that is when I do something, I either succeed at it or I learn something. Right? Do you? Are you in a place that can help you do that? Maybe repetitive behavior cellular regression is something that you might consider. Because a practitioner will help you find what drives that kind of behavior, what drives you to consider yourself a failure all the time. It doesn't matter how you grew up or where you grew up. It matters not. Our clients have been from PhDs to non-high school graduates to grew up rich kids, grew up poor kids. All races, all backgrounds, 12 different countries. And it's all the same. You make a decision in your mind, in yourself, in that heart center, hopefully. And where you go with it is you. So totally up to you. Repetitive behavior cellular regression helps you, the client, find an amnesic memory that occurred before you were even able to talk very, very well. Communicate, certainly. We call it pre-language. 3 years or earlier in your life. And ever since then, your brain, working correctly, has worked to protect you from remembering that memory. And our research has consistently found out that when we use the 5 senses to go back and find memories, and not your story of the memory or your history of the memory or all of the emotions that are charged in your memories, we find what we call an alternate neural pathway, or another way to enter the memory that you can't find from the back door, so to speak, without going into a lot of detail. And when we help the person find that back door and they walk in it, for the first time in their life, since that happened, that memory occurred, they have returned there. And it is so vivid, all 5 senses are crystal clear. Okay? Whatever it is, you can smell the grass. You can smell the baby powder. Whatever it is. And a lot of times it's just you, an adult person, that created that incident. We help you find it. Then we help you neutralize the emotional bond there, that amnesic block, we call an active block, so that it doesn't affect you in the future. Now, not only did you find that way back there driving memory, all of the stuff that you think about all the time that you cannot shut off, okay? Anxiety attacks, thinking about the same movie playing in your head 24/7, 24/7, 24/7, over and over and over again. Okay? They're shut off as well. Talked about failure today. Join me at noon, 1 p.m. Eastern Time this coming Friday. Let's talk about success. Let's talk about leaving the past and just be present. It's a powerful place, and it's controllable. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great week. We'll see you on Friday.